you do the second album, your second album, which is Comic Book
Comic
Heroes.
Book Heroes,
cool album. I was listening to some of it today. It didn't quite do what they wanted it to do. Is that accurate?
It was the only good review I think I've ever gotten in Rolling Stone. They said,
friend of Elvis.
Yes, it said sounds like teenage David Bowie. They said was the review of the album, which I, whatever. But I mean, everyone's got the opinion.
It did have a little bit of a kind of a glam.
Yeah, well, I was very into Bowie. I was very into T-Rex and old Slade and old English bands. I missed kind of what was America? Was that getting into the Poco stuff? And
oh yeah,
I missed that completely.
Southern, I don't know what I always called it cocaine rock.
Yes.
It just sounded like a lot of people doing a lot of cocaine. And they had lost their ears, and everything was kind of dull and
super mellow.
And this is an insider joke, but it was very what's the word? It's not Neve, it's the API. A lot of API going on. See, I knew you'd get that joke because you're a studio nerd like me.
That's a very in joke.
Yeah, right. So, so because we're all aware of how people perceive us. I of course, when you burst out of the world with your success, that's where you begin in most Americans. But this whole kind of rich musical thing. And I knew some of that, but I was listening to it, obviously knowing I was going to talk to you. And it's like, it's very interesting because it's like, if that was your story, you know what I mean? Like people be like, oh, check out this guy who,
right.
You know what I mean? You'd be like something that the indie writers,
the cult thing.
The cult thing.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find the right question.
Well,
what was your aspiration at that time?
I thought the whole comic book thing was really hip and avant-garde, and that was viewed as very teen, with the drawings and everything. But the thing is, Stephen and Robbie, because I'd come over here and the teen magazines had glommed onto me, right? And I'd never seen a teen magazine. In Australia, there was one magazine called Go Set, and that was it. There was nothing that catered to the teen. And I came over here, I said, wow, I'm doing a lot of interviews with all these people and, talking about my music and why I'm over here. And these stories started to come out like, is Rick Springfield too tall to love?
Well, the answer is yes.
Yes. Certainly from a 14-year-old that they were aiming at,
So you're saying you walked into a business model that you weren't aiming at,
and had no concept of it.
What was the business model you were aiming at?
I was a singer-songwriter.
But did you want to be like an Elton John type, or did you want to be a rocker type, or you were just trying to figure out who you were? Or?
Yeah, I'm a guitar player. Yeah, and I always fronted with the guitar, and I was still kind of caught up in the kind of the softer rock, like T-Rex and that kind of thing was what I was aiming at. I kind of left the Zeppelin stuff behind with the Zoot, and I was focusing on kind of more poppy stuff. I thought that was my, just what you write what you feel, I only ever once wrote a disco song because I thought I should, and it was horrible. So, but you write just what you feel, and that was what I was feeling at the time. And the weird thing is, it didn't do very well, but that ended up getting me the record deal with RCA that started, my career. Was the Working Class Dog album. The guy, Ed DeJoy, I went to meet him after I'd been turned down by pretty much every company in America. And he said, I really like Comic Book Heroes. I went, what? Say what?
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah.
And so he signed me based on that.
Okay, so at the end of the day,
it was a positive thing.